Hello to everyone! I am doing something different for us in this video because of the release of a very different drone, the DJI Neo. Starting here with the first FPV flight of the Neo in manual mode, we'll then show you an almost identical flight with the Avata 2. Both are filmed from the drones at 30 degrees incline in 4K 30 with sharpness at 0 and no ND filters and 1080p 30 in the goggles. After enabling manual in the goggles, I wasn't sure what was going to happen honestly, but as it turns out, it felt completely natural like I was flying the Avata 2. I guess I felt this way because there was no difference in the response to the controller, and everything I was seeing looked exactly like my view from an Avata 2. And I'm happy to say that includes the lack of any noticeable lag whatsoever. I was nervous though because I heard that the Neo will readily kick you out of manual if you push it too hard. So I just kind of circled down in a spiral like a glider, trying not to pick up too much speed. I ended up getting up over 50 kilometers per hour or 30 miles per hour. Once at a desired height, I decided to test my control with a sharp turn close into this old movie screen, and it felt just as precise as the Avata 2. However, once I rounded that corner, I pitched down, and then resulting increase in speed felt a little out of control. At that point, I decided to abort my desired attempt to follow the twists and turns of the go-kart track. Instead, I go and try my hand at an orbit. This also felt imprecise, like I couldn't turn in consistently and the field of view seemed off. Maybe rate adjustments will help. Anyway, to get a better sense of the response, I went for the go-kart track. The rest of this I'm showing through the goggles, so you can see the speed changes around the track. It felt surprisingly doable to stick to the track and keep a pretty level height. At this point, I was very impressed and just had to get the Avata 2 up to compare. As I did with the Neo, I brought the Avata 2 up to the same altitude and did a gradual descent. It felt so similar to the Neo I was just flying that I had to do a quick roll to tell myself that I was actually flying the Avata 2. Otherwise, it felt and looked entirely identical up to this point, and I was even in the same speed ranges, maxing out at about 50 kilometers per hour or 30 miles per hour. By now, you should certainly be able to tell the difference between the Neo and Avata 2 footage. Avata 2 is hands down looking much better than the Neo. Not nearly as oversaturated, better dynamic range, more realistic color, less artifacts and noise. But is it that much better? Not many people are in love with the Avata 2 camera anyway. Doing an orbit definitely felt better. I could turn into it better. My view seemed wider. By the way, folks, if you're liking this video, please like and subscribe and check out the rest of our channel. Next, I was off to a sharp turn behind the old movie screen. This seemed identical to the Neo, but my pickup in speed after seemed much smoother and controlled. I had no reservations with heading to the go-kart track with the Avata 2. I enter it pretty slow, but by the time I hit the U-turn, I'm going faster than the Neo, and I consistently stay faster overall by about 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. And I'm able to stay right above the track and not cut nearly as many corners as I did with the Neo. So there you have it, Neo versus Avata 2 in manual mode, flying kind of cinematic style, not freestyle, but still. No surprise Avata 2 was the clear winner, but aren't you surprised that it was even comparable? Also, the flight experience itself felt nearly identical, and that was the most surprising thing to me. Very impressed by the Neo in manual mode. But wait, we're not done yet. Here is some bonus footage from the Mini 4 Pro using the goggles and RC2 controller. Now, this is quite a few minutes later and the light has changed, but I was trying to change the camera mode from follow to FPV to continue with the FPV comparison, since many people were excited to think the Mini 4 Pro with the camera in FPV mode and the goggles would be a way for beginners to get a taste of the FPV flight. For some reason though, I just couldn't find this option in the goggles. I also couldn't change the frame rate to 30, so this is in 4K 60. At any rate, the Mini 4 Pro goggles/FPV experience is nothing like what I just experienced with the Neo. But the camera quality on the Mini 4 Pro is just so much better than both the Neo and even the Avata 2. And that's what I quickly wanted to show here as a final comparison. I think that the versatility of Neo is just incredible, and the way it will be used will be so varied as well. For me, I'm already seeing it as a practice drone for manual, both in general and for practicing specific shots before taking the risk of using my Avata 2. I was kind of doing that with the DJI FPV, but it's honestly even harder to fly and much easier to break. Anyway, let me know what you think and see you all in the next one.